My name is Kate Downey, and I am an artist and a member of the Royal Scottish Academy. I am delighted to welcome so many of you to this exciting awards ceremony for the RSA Art Awards for 2021. Like all of the prize winners whose work we are going to enjoy shortly, I too am an artist. The only difference between myself and all of you prize winners, all of you children who have entered, is I've been making art for just a little bit longer. That's it. This means that, as well as being a member of the RSA, I get the amazing task of being one of the judges on the panel. It was an absolutely fantastic job to do. I really, really enjoyed it, and I was overwhelmed by the quality and inventiveness of so much of the work, especially considering how many difficulties everyone has been through this year, and how difficult access to your art departments has been. Anyway, before we go on to show you the prize-winning work, I have an important job, which is introducing our president of the Royal Scottish Academy, Dr. Joyce Cairns. Joyce Cairns is not only an amazing artist, but one who currently spends hundreds of hours making sure that the RSA runs smoothly and is properly represented, not only across Scotland, but all over the world. For this, we are all incredibly grateful. She's going to tell you a little bit about our organisation and about the judging process that has led up to today's events. Joyce, over to you.
Thank you, Kate. Right. Good afternoon, everyone. But on behalf of the Council and the members of the Royal Scottish Academy, I'm delighted to welcome you to the presentation of the RSA School Art Awards on Zoom today. I know this has been a terrible and trying time for you all, having to work from home for the majority of the past year. It is therefore such a great achievement that you've managed to come up with such fascinating and splendid works of art. What struck the judging panel is how many of your pieces have reflected the trauma and the isolation of this past year and that you've all experienced. And sadly, this year, due to the pandemic, because they've been closed, there's been no entries from the Special Schools Award for the Special Schools Award section. So hopefully we can work on that to make that special for next year. Unfortunately, like all our other activities, this is the second year where we've been unable to have an actual physical exhibition and ceremony, at which we always offer you a splendid array of goodies for lunch. So you'll just have to imagine the delicious cream cakes that you might have got.
Aww.
However, there are advantages of doing it this way. It means that many, many more of people globally will be able to see your fantastic work through the RSA website. We've noticed that when we've done the annual exhibition, that we have purchasers from all over the world. So that's fantastic that we're getting that kind of recognition. Not many of you will know much about who we are. So let me tell you a little bit about the Royal Scottish Academy. We reside in a magnificent pillared building at the bottom of the mound in the middle of Princes Street in Edinburgh. And we're just immediately in front of the National Galleries of Scotland. We are an independent charity, which for 195 years has supported artists and architects in Scotland. We get no direct government funding, relying instead on endowments, earned income, sponsorship and bequests. And we have 120 members who are elected by their peers, and our 3 oldest members are just over 90 years old and they're still working, which is wonderful. So what do we actually do? Well, every year we hold the prestigious annual exhibition of members and open submission and invited works. And the 195th exhibition is currently on show on our website until near the end of May, so you can still have a look at that. We also hold the unique New Contemporaries Exhibition, which displays the work of around 60 students selected by the RSA from the previous year's art school degree shows throughout Scotland. And we recognise and we reward artists at different stages in their development through various awards, scholarships, and residency programme. Now, some of these awards provide funding to study and work abroad, and our biennial residency scheme offers an opportunity for around 15 artists to research and create new work in different partner venues throughout Scotland. The Schools Art Award is also part of our drive to involve young artists such as yourselves, to be part of our RSA family, and now, and hopefully we'll see you again in future when you come to show in the new Contemporaries. Interestingly, last week we were in a Zoom meeting with our top designer who's redesigning our brand audit for the new website. And it turns out that he received a highly commended in the School Art Awards 12 years ago. So there you are. Running alongside this throughout the year, we have a changing programme of exhibitions. And as if that was not enough, we also have our historic and contemporary collections, which are recognised as nationally significant collections for Scotland. Now, may I say it's been an absolute pleasure to view your work, and in particular to read your moving and articulate statements. There were 600 terrific entries, all of a very high standard. So as you can imagine, it was extremely difficult to select the winning pieces. But we eventually picked 36 winners and 22 highly commended. So very well done, everyone. As we approach the bit that you're all waiting for, the awards announcements, you may well ask us, well, how do we select the winners? Well, we look at the work as we do with work from more mature artists. It's the same principles. So we look for originality, imagination, expression, quirkiness, use of colour, pattern, shape, mood, funny or sad. It should also show an effective use of visual elements, skills and techniques and observation, all of which can relate in any form or in any style. And all of the winning works show a lot of that in various degrees. They're absolutely terrific. I will now hand over to Kate Downey, who's chair of the RSA Development Committee, to announce the 2021 awards. Thank you, Kate.
Thank you very much, Joyce. There's so much to know about these awards and so much that goes on behind the scenes, and it's really fascinating the whole process that children's art goes through with just as much attention and seriousness as any other art that comes through the Royal Scottish Academy. I would like to begin with announcing the New Schools Award. And this is a fascinating and excellent category because every year we get more schools entering their work, and this is a special award to encourage an expansion of the whole art award. So this year I would like to show the junior category award winner. We're going to kick off, and this is Nora Turner of Portobello High School, and she has won the junior category award. I love this work because it's basically a desktop, and if you think about it, what we're all looking at this moment is a computer screen on a desktop, and it's colorful, inventive, and messy in all the right ways, and I think it's just marvelous. So congratulations, Nora, for winning our first the beginning prize of the whole event. I'd like to then move on to the intermediate category, which has been won by Jasmine Vetraino of Forester High School. So welcome to Forester High School and to Jasmine, and congratulations on this very thoughtful and intimate work that represents lockdown and some of the traumas of it so well. It's beautifully painted and collaged as well. I found it really thoughtful and fascinating and quite confronting. So that's a terrific piece, and that's our intermediate category winner. I would like to move on now to our senior category, which is by Kayla Salmon of Irvine Royal Academy for this incredibly sensitive, beautiful still life that's been painted with great delicacy and thoughtfulness. Isn't that a beauty? So welcome to Kayla and to Irvine Royal Academy. Congratulations for winning that senior prize for the New Schools Award. Thank you. Well, now we are moving on to the main awards, the main award winners. And I have to say, I have done some reading on the RSA Schools website, which is due to go live, but not till after the award ceremony. And in these, you will be able to read some of the statements by the students themselves, what they've written about their own work. So without further ado, I am going to announce the junior category third prize, which goes to Anna Davidson of Balwearie High School for this beautiful painting, which I think is of her gran doing some sewing. And it's such, you know, the lockdown has been very hard, but I'm actually fascinated by some of the activities that have been going on behind the scenes. And I think that there's a lovely link between generations represented in this painting. And it's colorful, but it's also very thoughtful, and it has that concentration of the making, an object in the making. So congratulations, Anna. That's a beautiful piece. And now for the second prize in the junior category goes to Lucia Gizzi of St. Columba's School. I can't remember the name of this work, but it's a beautiful ethereal floating piece and very sensitive and very unusual. And we all loved it. And I'm sure you'll agree that it holds its own on the screen. I just wish we could see it in real life. And this is going to be the hard thing, but the image is fantastic and carries on floating in layers and layers, and it's very translucent. It's beautiful. Thank you. Our next and a final first prize goes to Mandy Chan of Balwearie High School. I think I read that Mandy likes to do pictures on, this is an iPad drawing, or it's a digital drawing, a digital painting, and that her sister likes reading crime novels. So although it looks a little bit scary and a little bit nasty, it's actually, it's got something of the darkness of these dark days, but it's actually a kind of layered piece. And it shows very good handling of the digital medium. And I think that Mandy would probably show just as great skills in real paint as well. But it's an interesting work and a very good composition. So congratulations, Mandy. That's fantastic. Okay, I'd like to now move on to the main award intermediate category. So we're talking, I think, 13 and 14-year-olds, something like that. Anyway, the third prize goes to Tegan Dixon of Viewforth High School. It's really unfair to show a piece of work like this when I haven't had lunch yet, because it makes me really hungry. It's a lovely still life based on edible sweeties and cakes and so on. And there's a fantastic rhythm of almost, the confectionery appears to be dancing across the page. So although it's very, very well painted with a lot of focus and concentration, it also has that lively rhythm to it, which is what I think attracted the judges to it so well. Thank you, and congratulations, Tegan. The second prize goes to Mia Pauluskati of Aloha Academy. I think it's a wonderful explorative piece, and Mia has obviously used her own language, or her first language, to write into the work. And I love the image of the portrait, both sideways and forwards. Very inventive, very colorful and thoughtful. Congratulations, Mia. It's absolutely wonderful. first prize coming up goes to Alex Kilcullen of Dollar Academy for this very sensitive etching, which I believe is a self-portrait. Congratulations, Alex. I think you'd agree that etching is a fascinating medium for everyone to try, and it's for an early attempt in this medium, it's incredibly successful. It's showing fantastic mark-making skills and inventiveness in pattern and tonal control. And it's a really smashing work. So congratulations to you, Alex. That's brilliant. Okay, and now we're moving on to our main award senior category. And in third place, we have Lane Wildmore of Dollar Academy, who has won third place with this fascinating photograph, which kind of, for me, expresses a kind of freedom, but also a kind of stillness. The act of cycling, obviously, the person on the bike had to be moving to keep up like that, but there's a wonderful stillness. And I think there's a sense of pause inside the movement, which I feel really captures that sense of how we've all been living in lockdown. We're all still moving, but we're not going anywhere. So really beautiful. And it's great to see photography winning prizes. And there's been some excellent photography in the submissions. So that's wonderful. Thank you and well done, Lane. I'd like to announce the second prize, which goes to Eliza Davis of George Heriot School for this excellent lockdown portrait. I think we all know that feeling, and we can all share in that sense of the nose pushed up against the glass and that sense of let me out. But it's both amusing and sad at the same time. And I'd like to say that it's really great to see work which doesn't fall into what I would call the category of ambient art, like ambient music in the background. I think all of the winners have been selected because they really stand out from the crowd in their approach to their work. And excellent bit of painting there. Thank you. And congratulations to Eliza Davis. And now I'm just doing a little drum roll. Our first prize in the senior category has been awarded to Abby Quinn of Greenfolds High School. Now, I know that there's a lot of art teachers who might be listening, and I always felt that if I ever saw another sheep's head drawing coming out of an art department, I might scream, because I remember decades ago to being subjected to drawing the odd sheep skull in a still life cupboard from the art department. As soon as I had said this to myself, I came across in the shortlisting this amazing watercolor by Abby, which completely transgressed all those cliches of children's art and children's drawings of sheep skulls. This is sinister, it's surreal, it's detailed, it has mystery, and it has tragedy, all wrapped up into one piece, which almost moves into abstraction. It's absolutely beautifully handled, and all the judges agree that it thoroughly deserves the first prize that it's received. So I'd like to extend warm congratulations to Abby for her beautiful and sensitive watercolor. Well done to you. Okay, so we've now come to the end of the declaration of the main body of awards. At this stage, before we go on to the regional awards, I would very much like to introduce and welcome Christine O'Neill, QC, partner and chairman, Brodies, and who have been, then we'll be receiving this amazing prize. To welcome Christine to say some words.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and particular good afternoon, in fact, to our award finalists. And I'll just say a few additional words of welcome to those that you've already heard from, Joyce and Kate. Brodies is delighted to be working again with the Royal Scottish Academy on the 2021 School Arts Awards. We've been in partnership with RSA for 6 years now. We've had a tremendously positive response to our involvement from our own colleagues, from our clients, and from the students who've been involved in the awards. And again, this year, many of my colleagues have been involved in judging entries, and we've all been incredibly impressed by the skill and talent demonstrated by entrants. The challenge of picking winners from so many excellent pieces of work is the only difficult part of the process. And on behalf of Brodies, I just want to congratulate all the entrants, the finalists and the winners for their fantastic efforts in what we know has been an incredibly challenging year. Now, I say every year, and it remains true, that I have no artistic skills of my own, and I deliberately stood in front of the blankest wall I could find for fear that I might have ambient art on my walls and get a row from Kate or Joyce about it. But despite having no artistic skill of my own, I do very much appreciate the work of those people who do have those skills. And so the awards today, and particularly the Chairman's Challenge, which we're about to come to, they're all close to my heart. Brodies is involved in a number of schools projects that encourage and develop creative talents. This year, we're working with the Scottish European Educational Trust, which works with young people across Scotland to encourage their learning of languages and of international issues. And we're working with them this year on a virtual basis, as everything is, as part of a series of events that we're organising to mark the passing by the Scottish Parliament of legislation to give effect to the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. So I had to get some law into my presentation this morning, and that is it. We're also working and continuing to work on initiatives around widening access to the legal profession. And I'm really pleased to see that some of the schools who've been involved in this year's School Art Award competition are also part of the PRIME programme that Brodies is a member of. And PRIME aims to encourage school pupils who don't have an existing link with the legal profession to think about law as a career choice. So all of you artists out there who also have a legal turn of mind, please think about law as a career to go alongside your artistic efforts. The Art Award is an obvious project for us to want to be involved in, and we're really glad to be able to support the Academy again this year. Art, as you know better than me, is a great opportunity to express yourself, to be creative, and opens the door to lots of possibilities. It develops really valuable skills in observation, innovation, communication, and much more, which then can be applied to other parts of your studies and your life and your future career. So congratulations again to all of you finalists and prize winners. Please remember to encourage your friends, your siblings, and your schoolmates to get involved in next year's awards. And without further ado, and to limit any further suspense, I'll hand back to Kate. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Christine. You put it so well, and I couldn't agree more that working well with your art actually expands your mind and your abilities in every direction possible. And good artists are usually quite good at almost anything else. So I absolutely agree with you. It's very well put. Oh, here we go. The Chairman's Challenge. This is something that every year I have, or for the last 2 years, in fact, while I've been chairman or chairwoman, to create a different and extra category for students to apply themselves to. And this year I created the theme called Pause, as I mentioned earlier with one of those photograph prize winners. And the idea that what happens in our lives that have been put on pause, and how any entrants might find a short film form to describe that sense of pause that's happened in lockdown. So it's very thematically relevant to now. Anyway, I'm delighted to announce in that category the winner, who is Kyle Wilkinson of Speyside High School. Now, we're just going to see 3 stills from his film, which is very beautiful and very sensitive, based around a runner and someone who works in sport and trying to keep fit, trying to stay engaged, and yet very much part of this wider world. And one of the things I really liked about the film was it put across very much that this pandemic has affected us all from every single corner of not just Scotland, but every single corner of the world. And it's strange times. And I thought that this film captured it so well. And so congratulations to Kyle. We're delighted for your well edited and sensitive and interesting film, which will go, you can't watch it right this minute while I'm talking, but I recommend that all of you spend a few minutes, which is all, I think it's 3 minutes long, enjoying it on the website as soon as I finish talking. So thank you very much for that. I'd like to move on next to our Regional Awards Junior category. So the Junior category of the North, I'd like to announce, goes to Hashir Sheikh of Robert Gordon's College for this very amusing and attractive and compelling digital drawing. I think is an iPad drawing of some kind. And with wonderful, strong colors staring you right in the face. And I think there's a lovely relation between a digital image and a bit like someone popping up on your screen. And I'm thinking, wouldn't it be fascinating if we could all represent ourselves with a little iPad drawing like this rather than our real selves sometimes. I wonder whether we're all going to turn into these digital versions of ourselves. Anyway, it's a great drawing, painting. I don't know quite what we'd call it. So congratulations to you, Hashir. Now, in our junior category for the East of Scotland, I'd like to show you something entirely different, but still kind of portraiture in its own way, and maybe the portraiture of your inner emotion. I think this piece is called Vent, which is an excellent title, and it's by India D'Ambrosio of Leith Academy. I don't think I've ever seen such a kind of, it's such an emotive and difficult painting in a way, but just totally original and absolutely deserving of an award, and perhaps capture some of the frustrations that we've all felt during this time. Emotionally, it's been a difficult time, and I don't think that these emotions should be avoided in any way when it comes to making your art. So I'm delighted that this picture, and India, that you have won an award for it. Congratulations. And now our junior category West, for the West of Scotland, goes to Hannah Bradshaw of St Andrews and St Bride's High School. I was reading about Hannah saying that this is a place where her family go on holiday, and that this had to be created from memory to a certain extent. And it's a very mysterious, beautifully handled piece of work. I think it's part photographic or maybe digital, but whatever it is, it looks fantastic. I can imagine that printed really, really big. It would have such impact and such moodiness, but also very kind of almost expressing nostalgia and homesickness too. So it's a beautiful piece. So congratulations to Hannah for that work. Thank you. I'd now like to move on to the intermediate category North, and which has been won by Sydney Samuel of Stirling High School. And it's a lovely little diptych, which is in pencil and in watercolor. And I like the reference to the watercolor of watercolors. I think it works very well. And then we've got, it looks like ink, but perhaps done in pencil. But whatever it is, it's a lot of work and a lot of excellent, well-controlled observation, deeply attractive, but definitely not ambient. Thank you, and well done, Sydney. The winner of the intermediate category for the East of Scotland goes to Helen Schroeder of Leith Academy. And this, I like drawing cars myself, and I definitely like orange, as you can see from my scarf, which maybe I put on to match this little mini. It's a beautiful little drawing, and incredibly well detailed and sensitive, and somehow just charming and beautifully drawn. So that's a beautiful prize. So well done to Helen Schroeder from Leith Academy. And our intermediate category for the west of Scotland goes to Lucy Agnew of Ardrossan Academy. And you know, these days I'm seeing a lot of litter, I don't know about you, on the verges of the roads. And I almost feel that there's a sense of the litter has blown across the field of this portrait. I think it's a fantastic work of art. I could look at that for hours. Very, very compelling, very contemporary, absolutely fantastic. So congratulations, Lucy. I would now like to go on to the senior category for and the prize for the north of Scotland goes to Topaz Walker of Strathallan School. An amazing bit of almost three-dimensional collage going on there, very funny. It reminds me of a footballer from the 1970s in some way, something to do with the hair, but really engaging. And when we were looking through the judging images, this one sort of jumped out at us. It was like, whoa, look at this. So I'm really pleased that that Topaz has won this prize. Congratulations. The senior category for the east of Scotland, prize winner goes to Ben Lynch of Queensferry High School. Now, I couldn't work out whether this was a pencil drawing, an ink drawing, or a scraper board sketchbook drawing, or maybe a combination of all three. But it's a very, very interesting observation of architecture, of traditional, probably Queensferry architecture. In fact, I might recognize that tower in the middle of South Queensferry, but absolutely beautiful, very original. And I really like the way it combines the traditional and the contemporary architecture that you see just in on the bottom left-hand corner. Fantastic composition. So congratulations to you, Ben. And now the senior category for the West of Scotland winner goes to Dorina Kasmir of Knightswood Secondary School. It's a very limpid, very calm portrait, which I think is just probably what we all need after all that excitement. It's beautifully observed. The drawing is sensitively handled. The eyes stare straight in towards you. And there's something really I think just calm, and it's echoed in the way that the hair has been waving down the picture like a waterfall, really nicely drawn. And we thought that absolutely deserving of a prize. So that's absolutely, we're almost at the end, I think. That's great. So we are now in the final part of the prize giving, which is the award of the Inspirational Art Department Award, which goes to Greenfolds High School. I'm just going to read out that this is an award which will go towards working for the Greenfolds High School Art and Design Department. Will be able to work with the contemporary Scottish artist Alan Potter to create a mosaic for the front facade of the school building, reflecting on the past year and the pupils' experiences of the COVID-19 pandemic. Alan has worked with the pupils from this high school before. This will give the school a fantastic opportunity to work with him again, and for the pupils to create a new mosaic to enhance their learning environment whilst memorializing visually the fantastic efforts of our NHS heroes and the sacrifices made by too many different members of our school community. We felt that was an excellent proposal, and we are delighted to be able to support it. And now I would like to ask you all, I'm now at the stage of handing back over to our President Joyce, who would like to say a few final words to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. That's been an amazing range of awards, and I think you'll all agree how different they all are from the other. So art is really healthy in Scotland just now. Anyway, obviously, to make a major event such as this takes a lot of dedicated efforts from quite a few people. So I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to all at Brodies LLP and to Christine O'Neill QC, partner and chairman of Brodies, for the continued generous and enthusiastic support over the past 6 years. Also, many thanks to the judges, Kate Downey RSA, Marion Leven RSA, and Louise Kelly from Brodies, and myself, and also the RSA team headed by Sheena for arranging the competition and the online exhibition, and to Charlie Leeson and Dawn Stanley for helping to run the ceremony on Zoom. And lastly, thanks to all the hardworking teachers, the long-suffering parents, and of course, all the talented pupils themselves, without whom this would not be possible. And congratulations to them all. I do very much hope that you've enjoyed the ceremony, and thanks to all attending. But just before we all unmute to give a huge round of applause, I have been told to give you a quick message from Sheena to say that all the certificates and prizes will be in the post shortly. And the link to the exhibition is now live on chat, and the website opens at 12:30. So thanks everyone for attending, and you can all unmute now and switch on gallery view to give a huge round of applause to all our winners.